Welcome back. In this module, I just want to briefly talk about some of the most important criteria to getting discovered on Amazon. You know, I've always said that if you can't make sales within Amazon, if you have to drive outside traffic all the time to Amazon, you're doing something wrong. As far as an Amazon seller, that doesn't mean that you have a bad product or a bad business model or whatever, but it just means that I believe that you should take advantage of the world within Amazon, maximize that, and then worry about growing and expanding outside that. That doesn't mean you should not send traffic to Amazon, because there are times for that. We'll talk about that in just a second. But if you're having to depend on that, then it's not a good thing. So what I want to talk about are some of the most important things that you need to know to get discovered once you have your product on Amazon. You know, a lot of people will start to sell on Amazon, and they may have a great product at a great price, and they just put it up on Amazon, but they're like, you know, Amazon doesn't work for me. I talked about an example in an earlier module, you know, someone that has a little boutique soap making business in a soap store that's in a tourist area, and they do really well. And someone said, hey, this is great soap. I wish I could buy this on Amazon. They go and they list it up on Amazon, and nothing happens. And they're like, Amazon, we tried Amazon. It doesn't work for us. It's because they don't know how to get discovered on Amazon. So if you know how to play the game and get discovered, it can make a huge difference. We're going to go into detail on each of these in the upcoming modules, but I just want to give you an overview right now. The first thing you have to do is you have to make sure you're in the right category. I've said this over and over throughout the course that Amazon has actually human beings that make a list of keywords that are relevant for certain categories, because they don't want people just to come into the system and game the system and put all these crazy keywords and get ranked for baby products when someone's really looking for automotive products. So the category that you go in is crucial, and you can get ideas of which category you should be in by looking at the top sellers, your competitions, the top sellers in your competition, and see which categories they're in. Usually there's 1, 2, maybe 3 main categories that they've been choosing to go in. The category they went in, it could be because they're trying to get a bestseller badge and there's less competition there. It could be because the keywords that they're really targeting are really relevant in that category, or it could be that that category didn't require gating. Maybe, you know, to be in to sell something that requires gating, they didn't go in that category. Maybe it's an automotive part, but instead of going in automotive, they kind of could, you know, they could kind of go into a different category, like a home improvement or sports and outdoors, or something that still kind of for the car, but it's in a different category. But that could limit you. So there's ways to figure out which is the best category to go in. If you want to take a look at your competition, that's a great way to do it, and see which ones are ranking well for keywords that are relevant to you, and choose that category. You can also go see what are all the categories. There's a couple websites. You can go to Keepa, KEEPA.com, and that's the same site that Helium 10 uses for some of the information that they share with you through the extension. But there they have a list of all the browse nodes and all the guides and how much competition there is in every single one of them. I think you have to pay a little bit of money for that, but for that software. But they have a really good little section there in the tools where it'll show you a breakdown. You can hit sports and outdoors, and then it opens up to all the subcategories. You can see how much competition there is in each one of those at a glance. Another one that's really good is called findbrowsenodes.com. That's another place that you can go to that's really good. So you want to make sure you're in the right category. That's critical, number one. Number two are there's things on Amazon that's the way you build your listing is super important. We're going to get into detail on these in some future modules, but there's nothing more important than your title. Your title has to have the right keywords that are relevant and that you're targeting sales for. And it may be, some people get caught up in the big keywords. You'll use tools like Cerebro or Magnet, and you'll see that this keyword has like 50,000 searches a month, and you're like, oh my God, I want to rank for that. I can make so many sales, but it might be really, really competitive. Usually the longer the keyword, the higher the conversion rate. So a keyword like that might have like 50,000 searches a month. It might be a 1 or 2 word keyword a lot of times. Long tail keywords are keywords that have 3, 4, 5, 6 words. They have more words in them. The longer the tail, the better. So when you can find really long tail keywords that have 4 or 5 words and have good search volume, those are like major opportunities, because those are very specific on what somebody is looking for. And so the conversion rates on those that people that are searching for that keyword can often approach 50% or even more, versus on one of these really big keywords that's a short tail. It's only 1 or 2 words, you know, like dog shampoo. That the conversion rates might be 1% or 5%. So there's a lot of people searching for it, but what happens is a lot of people type in dog shampoo, they look at the results, don't say what they want, then they go back and they type in dog shampoo for Labrador retrievers. And that's a long tail keyword. And so the results are going to be narrowed way down. And that's how you use the tools that we're going to show you how to use Cerebro and Magnet and those tools in Blackbox to actually find those opportunities. But that's where the gold is. That's why I say the gold's in the niches. But those keywords that you end up targeting have to be in your title in an exact order, or you're never going to get discovered. The other most important thing is what's called subject matter. This is in the back end of your Seller Central. It's an area that nobody, like the customer, doesn't see. But there's 5 fields there where you can actually input additional information, and those are really critical. We'll get into that when we talk about building your listing. The third one is your back end search terms. There's another field in your Seller Central in the back end, the part the customer doesn't see, where you can add up to 250 bytes of additional terms. And these could be misspellings, they could be Spanish keywords, they could be words that just didn't make sense to put in your listing. Those are pretty critical. Then there's the other fields. The other fields are the fourth most important one. The other fields are like the color, the intended use. There's a whole number of them. We'll talk about that when we get into building listings. That's important for discoverability as well. Your bullet points are the 5th most important thing for discoverability. What you type in the bullet points and the keywords that you use in there. Now, bullet points can help you convert, so you want to make sure you have good copy and good information there that's going to convince the customer to buy. But you also want to sprinkle in certain keywords so that the algorithm can actually pick those up and help you get discovered on Amazon. The 6th most important section are like your reviews and the questions and answers section. We've talked about that in the past in other modules. And the 7th one is your description. What's in your description? That can be important for conversions, but as far as being discovered on Amazon, that would be like number 7. If you ever want to check and see how you're showing up on Amazon, you got to be careful because Amazon takes into factors what you've been searching for on your computer. And it might change the results a little bit from computer to computer or person to person or even your geolocation. So if you ever want to check and see how you're coming up, I would recommend you use the Chrome browser and go into incognito mode. Incognito mode will block a lot of the extensions and a lot of the history and all that kind of stuff. And you can see how Amazon shows your listing from a discoverability point of view in a very generic way. And that can give you some ideas as well. So check that out too. Now, within Amazon, like I said, your product title, there's no question, it is the biggest impact. Now, that doesn't have to do with conversions. Your product title is just to get you discovered. Then you have to have a fair price. It doesn't have to be the lowest price necessarily, but it has to be a fair price for whatever you're offering. And you have to have really good images that convince people to buy it and good copy. So that's number 1 for getting discovered. And so those organic terms that you put in these 7 positions that I just named out are critical. They're super critical for where you rank. The other one that's going to play a major role in how you rank is your PPC, your sponsored ads. You should run ads even if you think you don't need to. And even if you start ranking, people always say, when I start ranking, I'm ranking in position 1 and I'm running ads, should I turn off my ads? No, you should continue running ads. You might want to cut down on how much you're spending or where you're bidding on, but you should continue running ads because they show up all over Amazon. And there's a lot of opportunity there. So if you can get to the top of page 1 with your PPC, and when you first launch, and we'll talk about that in the PPC section in a couple weeks here in the Freedom Ticket, if you can get to the top of page 1 and you convert, you can raise up your organic, you can raise up your discoverability. You prove to Amazon that, hey, I am important for these keywords. I should be ranked for these keywords. And once you start getting a few sales on each keyword, you'll start moving up the ranks, and you'll move from page 30 or position 300 of the results up and up and up, and hopefully onto page 1, and hopefully to near the top of page 1 where you can start just being discovered and start just making a lot of sales. PPC is very important. You got to have a budget for that, and you don't want to be cheap there. Because it's a very important thing for you to figure out what's resonating with the customer, if your product resonates or not, and if you need to make any improvements on your listing. So those are 3 important things to get discovered. There's a 4th one that helps you get discovered on Amazon, and that's by driving outside traffic. So remember at the beginning I said that if you have to drive traffic from outside Amazon to your listing, you're doing something wrong. There is an exception to that rule. The exception to that rule is when you're first trying to get discovered on Amazon. Driving outside traffic can be an important role in helping you to juice the A9 algorithm, and it can be important with your title and with your organic terms and with your PPC, is to add a fourth component, and that's driving outside traffic. The most common one that people use is Facebook. Some people use Instagram, and some people use Pinterest or blogs. But the most common one right now, and it has been for a while, is using Facebook. But it could be just simple Facebook ads that say, hey, we're launching a new product. We're looking for new people to try it. We're offering a 30% discount. Here's a coupon code. Just click here, and you use a link. You use one of the links from helium10.com/gems that has a keyword in it, and it goes to Amazon. They buy the product and use the coupon code to get a discount. And since they use that special URL that has a keyword in it, then it actually will help you in the rankings and help you get discovered. Another thing a lot of people are doing are what's called chatbots. Chatbots are like the new hot thing. They have been for a while, and it's continuing to grow. But the open rate on emails or the people that see something in a Facebook is small. But chatbots are basically instant messengers. It comes on your Facebook Messenger, and almost everybody reads a message when it comes on Facebook Messenger. So if you're able to run an ad on Facebook, or when you do your package inserts, remember in the package insert section, I recommend you put a little QR code or something people can scan to actually get you into a bot program, into like ManyChat. Those are really, really powerful ways to launch products, and you can have like almost an artificial intelligence dialogue with people. And so a lot of people are using ManyChat to actually offer rebates if someone tests the product, or to actually show people how to do a search, find, buy. They say, hey, you want this product? Step 1 is go to Amazon. Step 2 is type this keyword. Step 3 is look for this particular image, and then buy it. And so that can be really important to help you on the discoverability at the very beginning. Now, chatbots are a little bit more advanced technology that a lot of people are using right now. So it's a little bit more outside of the realm of the Freedom Ticket, because this is more of the basics. But in the Helium 10 Elite, we do cover that in detail. But if you're interested in learning more about chatbots, you can go to course, course.many, M-A-N-Y, chat.com. And there's a free course there. It's done by Molly Pittman. And it's like 12 hours, and about half of it has to do with Amazon. It'll really get you versed. It's way better teaching than what I could teach you here. And it's totally free. You know, it probably would cost $2,000 if they charged for it, but it's really good. So I recommend you go and you take that course. There's also there's a tool called Seller Chatbot, which is actually a really good tool. It doesn't really use ManyChat, but uses Facebook ads, and it has its own system and has everything pre-built in. So if you want to get into, when we get into the launching section, we'll talk about this again. But Seller Chatbot is a good tool that actually has pre-done templates for you. So you don't have to learn all the little programming and all the details. You can actually use that tool and say, I want it to do this, this, and this, and you just have to change a few variables, and it'll do it all for you. There is a fee for that. We're not affiliated with them, but that's a good software that you could actually use if you don't really want to learn all the nitty-gritty. So those are the 4 ways that you can really get discovered on Amazon. There are other ways, but those are the 4 key ones. We're going to go into more detail on these in future modules, and I look forward to seeing you there, and we'll see you in the next module.